All right, I'm back. Okay, I have my Bible open to Proverbs 1, and we're going to go ahead and get started. Now, a lot of this is not scripted. I'm not a lot of it. None of it is scripted. And so, in whatever I the Lord leads me to say, I'm going to say it. Okay, and whatever comes out, just know I've prayed, and we're going to just go ahead and dive right into it. For the sake of time, I won't be reading all the scriptures, but we will start with Proverbs chapter 1. And so, and let's get going. Now, Proverbs chapter 1, okay, it sets up four things that Solomon is conveying to his son, okay, and so, and starting off with the first 6 verses, okay, he kind of sets the tones for the book of Proverbs, okay, and so he lists some objectives for the book of Proverbs, and so one of them is to know wisdom and instruction, to perceive the words of understanding, to receive instruction of wisdom, justice, judgment, and equity, to give prudence to the simple, to the young man knowledge and discretion. A wise man will hear and increase learning, and a man of understanding will attain wise counsel. To understand a proverb and an enigma, and the words of the wise in their riddles. Okay, and those are the first 6 verses, okay, or lines, okay, being that is poetry. That he's writing. So, and then he goes on in line 7 or verse 7. He says, "Now this is key. Pay attention to this. The fear of the Lord is a beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction." Now notice that he put this at line 7. Okay, line 7. 7 means a number of completion. Okay. One of God's perfect numbers, okay? And so, and what is that saying to us? Is that when we have the fear of the Lord, that's when you become wise. Now, if you're just doing anything, or if I'm just doing anything with no conscience and with no fear, knowing that God is sitting high and he's looking low, and we're just going about our own business without any fear of him, okay? What Solomon calls you is a fool. He said, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. If you don't want to fear the Lord, which starts off with wisdom, okay, because once you fear him, and that reverence, not like you looking at God as being a boogeyman, but that you reverence him, that, yeah, he'll knock you silly if you keep on, okay? But the thing about it is that it's for our own good. Okay, and we'll read about that later on, about the chastening of the Lord. Okay, now, then he goes down and starts with 8 through 9, talking about obeying parents, and that is essential. And you see a lot of things that's happening in the world today. A lot of it stems from that one of the 10 commandments about not honoring your father and your mother. It's like no respect for your parents. And then you have, and if you don't have any respect for your parents, how are you going to have any respect for those who are old enough to be your parents? Okay, so it just, it starts at home. Everything starts at home. And then he goes on in verses 10 through 19, talking about how we need to avoid bad company. Okay, and if you read the verse, I mean, it's so what's happening in our world today, just like what happened in New Orleans just about, I think, last week or so. These 4 young men attacked these 2 young men in their French Quarter, just came up from behind them and attacked them, knocked them down, and took their goods and their positions. Same thing that Solomon is warning his son about, avoiding bad company. And even one of the men was known as being a follower, because he's with bad company. Okay, and then we going down to verses 20 to 33, and it talks about wisdom, how we seek wisdom. But notice how everything is falling into place. Okay? Start off with the fear of the Lord. Starting off with obeying your parents. Starting off with what? Avoiding bad company. And the next, seeking wisdom. Seek the wisdom of God, which is so important for us. And if you're tired of making mistakes, if you're tired of just going through the motions, okay, you need to seek wisdom. And just like scripture tells us, that if you seek God with your whole heart, you will find. He will be found by you. Okay, and the same thing with wisdom. We need to seek wisdom. And so that's what I get out of chapter 1, and we'll start chapter 2 shortly.